what's good, Commanders fans? Training camp starts on Wednesday, and I cannot wait. I'm super excited, but we got some news here. They did release Andrew Norwell. They're going to save about $2.3 million on the cap, reading per spot rack. And we kind of knew this was going to happen because they put him on the PUP list or some type of injury list a couple months ago, and they said, once he's like fully healthy, they'll release him. Trey Turner, of course, they're not bringing him back. He got to work out with another team. So both of the Comanthers, the former Panthers, those signings on the offensive line did not work out at all. He had 4 sacks allowed last year, had a 59.8 PFF grade. You don't really need to look at PFF to see how underwhelming he was or how non-effective he was. He was just too slow. He could barely move. He was kind of like a turnstile. Him and Trey Turner, they both could barely move. Now, in the second half of the year, Andrew Norwell got a little bit better, but it certainly is time to move on, and I think this is the right move by releasing him. Now, we do have Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul left guard. They're big question marks, but those guys are definitely more athletic than Andrew Norwell at this point. This is not the Andrew Norwell from the Panthers back in 2016, 2017. So I guess that's what Ron Rivera might have thought that he was gonna get, just the familiarity there. But you just can't always go out there and just sign former Panthers and think it's gonna work. 5 years later, it's just not. So that Eagles game is what stuck out to me. Both those guys were just getting cooked. Norwell and Trey Turner, they just could barely move out there, and Carson Wentz certainly was struggling behind those guys for sure. Taylor Heinicke, he was okay behind those guys because we just needed a quarterback back there that could move. If you had a pocket passing quarterback behind these guys, they were basically doomed from the start because, the pass rush was getting by these guys literally in 1 to 2 seconds in that Eagles game. It was just disgusting to watch and just the majority of the season, to be honest with you. So I think it was a good move to release Andrew Norwell for sure. All right, so let's move on to Michael Badgley. He played with the Detroit Lions, played with the Los Angeles Chargers as well. He did not miss any extra points last year. He went 33 for 33 for extra points. Joey Sly went 24 for 28 in extra points. And you look at the game log for Joey Sly, in some of the games that he missed extra points in, he missed an extra point in that Giants game where we lost on Sunday Night Football, where they cheated us, where they bear hugged Curtis Samuel and they called that a phony penalty on Terry McLaurin for illegal formation or something like that, being offsides. Joey Sly missed an extra point in that game. We lost 20-12, where we would not have to go. We would not have had to go for a 2-point conversion if Joey Sly would have just made the kick. We would have had an extra point there, and we could have tied it 20-20, and we went to overtime again, like we did the 2 weeks before that, before the bye week against the Giants. It would have been tied up 20-20 again. So Joey Sly definitely messed us over in that game. He missed an extra point in the Falcons game where we beat them 19-13. Extra points are just so important, man. They moved the line back a little bit, and the guys are starting to miss more. But Joey Sly, he just misses too many extra points, man. He really does, which is really frustrating. It puts us in a bad spot because Mariota, he threw that pass and Daron Payne tipped it up with his left hand up, and Kendall Fuller got an interception. So we got a heads-up play by Daron Payne and Kendall Fuller there. If not, the Falcons could have just scored there and scored a touchdown, But if he would have made the extra point, we would have went to overtime where we won the game 19-13. But it was very scary because Joey Sly put us in that bad situation. He missed an extra point against the Detroit Lions where we lost 36-27. Once again, if we would have had 28, we could have gone down and scored and had a 2-point conversion and tied it up against the Lions. But we were getting our butts kicked against the Lions. But those are just some of the examples right there. I do remember Joey Sly. When he got injured against the Seahawks on Monday Night Football, he's trying to tackle guys because, he's a weight room guy. Like, he's really strong and whatnot, but he tries to do too much. I get it. Kickers try to tackle and whatnot sometimes, but sometimes he can get a little silly with that, trying to tackle guys out there. But in the Dallas game, the last game of the season, he was really bad, too. I think that left a bad taste in Ron Rivera's mouth. Another former Panther right there, Joey Sly, Comanther, went 2 for 4 for field goals against Dallas when we beat them 26-6. And he missed an extra point in that game as well. So he's just leaving a lot of points on the board. He's starting to be almost as bad as Dustin Hopkins out there. Now let's move on to Michael Badgley and look at some of his numbers. 33 for 33 from extra points last year for the Detroit Lions. And he was also 83% for field goals, 20 for 24. Joey Sly was 83% from field goals last year as well. But Michael Badgley just got released. I'm not too sure why, but he set a couple records now from 50 plus. He was 2 for 3 last year from 50 yards out. 40-49, he was 8 for 10. In 2020, he was 2 for 6 for 50 from 50 yards out, and he's 5 for 13 from 50 yards or beyond, which is not great. I'm gonna look at Joey Slides for 50 yards beyond. Joey Slide in his career 17 for 27, so they're kind of in the same range from 50 yards and beyond. But Michael Badgley, they just need to bring in some competition for Michael Badgley. He has won the AFC Special Teams Player of the Year or Player of the Week a couple times. Joey Slide has as well. But Badgley did hit a 59-yarder to set a Chargers franchise record for the longest field goal as well. He was named AFC Special Teams Player of the Week for his performance as well in that game. And then during the 2018 AFC wildcard matchup against the Ravens, where they beat Lamar Jackson on Lamar Jackson's first playoff game, Badgley went 4 for 4 from field goal range in the first half, becoming the only kicker to do so. So he set a couple records and broke a couple franchise records in his career. So played for the Titans, played for the Colts, played for the Bears, now with the Lions. So we're going to see what this guy can do. They had him in for a workout, so they must have liked what they saw from Michael Badgley. So we'll see. I do like that they're bringing in competition for Joey Sly for Sly Guy. I do like Sly Guy a little bit, but those extra points, man, they just really hurt us. And you just don't want to be in that situation where you have to go for 2 at the end of the game because you miss an extra point, or the other team is driving down, you miss an extra point, and instead of them having to tie the game and take it to overtime, they can just score and get a touchdown and beat you by 1 point. So the extra points are just so important. So definitely had to bring in some competition. So training camp tickets just came out. They did put the bleachers on the side. They look pretty darn cool. Shout out to my guy Brandon Scott, my co-host on Locked On Wizards. He sent me some tickets for July 29th, which is Saturday. I'm going to try my best to get down there. I can't guarantee you that is this weekend, so it's going to be lit. I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun because that's going to be that first weekend. It's going to be a lot of buzz, a lot of energy, new owner and whatnot. I already heard the ticket sales have surpassed from last year, which is insane, which I'm not surprised either about that too. The fan base is definitely hyped right now. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Shout out to Prize Picks, man. I was just looking at the board. You can do over-under on Emmanuel Forbes interceptions right now at 2.5. And you can do over-under on Dak Prescott's interceptions, which is about 12.5. As always, you can use the 100% deposit match using my promo code REAL@Oliver. Link is down below in the description. So I would definitely take the over on Dak's interceptions. I'd probably take the over on my guy Emmanuel Forbes interceptions this year too. So you guys let me know what you guys think about that too. Hell's Commanders. Peace.